Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candace Marie. Thanks for joining me. Happy Friday, hopefully you guys are doing well. We're doing live readings on the channel this evening, so if you can see this, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and like the stream. It's gonna help with the algorithm, I appreciate it. Give everybody a little bit of time to kind of pop in and see that we're going live. Those of you guys who are new to my channel, welcome. We hang out on Friday nights. We do by donation readings. Sometimes we do tarot, sometimes we do astrology. This week is going to be tarot. So to be able to get a reading, you can scan the QR code that's going to pop up right up here. It'll take you to my PayPal where you can make a donation. It's $20 for one card and it's $40 for 3. You can ask whatever one question you want. Please in the memo put your name and also your question, because that's helpful in letting me know what I'm going to be looking at in terms of looking at your cards. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. What's up, Deanna? Saying hi. What's up, Amazing Fruits? We got a couple of people. We got more than a couple of people in the queue. We've got about like 8 people or so. So we definitely have some people waiting. But if you guys want to get in and get in the queue, please do. While we're waiting, I just want to say a big thank you to all of my members who have joined my memberships, who support my channel. If you guys are not aware, I have 3 different members, 3 different levels of memberships that you can join. Just a couple bucks to get in and support. For level 1, level 2, you're going to get a shout out, and level 3, you're going to get a reading once a month. Pretty sweet deal. If you want to support the channel monthly on level 3, you're going to get either a tarot or an astrology reading once a month with me, and we take level 3 people first, so you guys don't have to wait. So I just want to give a shout out to this ever-growing list. Tay Jack, Hey Honey, Lika, Tarot Empire, Deanna, MV, Catherine Murray, Claudia, Enchanted Crossroads, Jen, Sharon, Susanna, Deb, Tonya, Barbara, Penny, Steve, Paula, Angela, Willow, Emma, Susan, Saliba, Jackie, Harazet, Nancy, Jessica Martinez, Susan Wexler. Thank you guys so much. That list gets longer and longer every month long. It's because of my memberships and also the interaction with the channel that allows me to be a full-time YouTube content creator. So if you guys like my videos, my astro weather, my horoscopes, all that stuff, it's possible because you guys either get a reading on the Friday night readings, maybe you join my memberships, or you donate to my channel. I just want to say a big thank you guys so much, making it possible for me to really segue out of having like a full-time practice, although I'm still seeing clients a couple days a week, to grow my YouTube channel. It's hard to believe, like a year and a half ago, we had 1,000 subscribers. And we're inching closer to 25K. So if you have not already subscribed, click the bell button below. Subscribe to my channel if you can, so you're alerted as when we have new content coming out. Hey Tara. No worries, Amazing Fruits. I'll get you. Hey Marsha. Hey Elizabeth. Hey Adriana. And Zika. What's going on, guys? How's everybody's Friday going? Let me give a little bit of like a roll call so people know who I've got. I've got Jessica, Michelle, Sophia, Janae, Anne, Matt, Farah, Vanessa, and Jerome. What's up, Sophia? My friend Sophia's in the house. Hey, Ebony. I know we've got people in all different like time zones and all kinds of places. Sometimes people are checking in from all parts of the world. So if you're watching for the first time, check in, say hello, let me know where you're tuning in from. Thank you, Anne. I got you. Are there any level 3 people in the house that want to cash in on the reading? Deanna says she's going to check in next week. Yeah, save it for next week. Have you seen that new moon in Leo? Holy cow. 23 degrees new moon, exactly in a square to Uranus and Taurus. Conjunct Venus retrograde. Oh my goodness. I already put out the video on that. It is wild. The next like week or so is when the energies really start to kind of really change out in the world. Okay, so if we don't have any level 3 people, I'm going to go ahead and go with my list. Jessica, Michelle, Sophia, you guys are all up first, so you guys are kind of up to bat, and I'll update you guys on this. I'll probably leave this open for maybe like 20 minutes or so, so if you guys want to get in the queue, you can. What's up, Toddy? Toddy from Philly, Taurus rising. All the fixed signs are feeling these squares right now. All right, so let's start with Jessica. Looks like Jessica's going to be first on my list. Jessica says, 3-card reading. Should I stay in Dallas another year or look to move away somewhere more quiet? I believe the answer is tied to my career, so will my career afford me to stay here? Love you, thank you so much. All right, well, let's take a look. Let's see. There's Jessica. So should she stay in Dallas or look to move away somewhere more quiet? She's in Texas just like me. In this order, we've got the Death card, the Queen of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Well, obviously we've got a major arcana card coming up, so it's interesting. For me, like the real change card is definitely the Death card. So generally if somebody says, do I make the change? The Death card coming up is saying like, okay, a change is definitely on the horizon, although this is in the past position. This can also be kind of talking about being in a situation where like you've already been undergoing a lot of change in your life. The Death card is associated with like Pluto. Right now we have Pluto square the node, so everybody's going through some kind of significant pressure point where something in their life has to evolve and change. The Death card can also be about like letting one thing go to make room for something new. So being that it's in the past position, I think it's more about coming to terms with being like, okay, I'm willing to move. I'm willing to make the change. It's not in the current position, it's in the past. I do feel like this is also about acknowledging maybe that like your time in Dallas has come to an end and like accepting that, right? So, you know, the Death card can be about overcoming difficult challenges or fear or working your way out of a situation and starting over. So I'm wondering, like, are you open to it? Sounds like you are if you're asking that question, so that's definitely helpful. This can also be talking about timing-wise when we're having transits that are moving through Scorpio. So you might notice October, November-ish is kind of like a turning point for you. The Queen of Wands is cool in the current position. So I don't know what sun sign you are, but this could be talking about the energy of an Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius. It can be addressing you personally, saying right now it's a time where you're really focusing on getting creative and being brave. Queen of Wands does not hesitate when it comes to standing out, going her own way, initiating something, creating her own reality. So this can be a card that's also talking about like doing something different in regards to your career or going and seeking out new opportunities in regards to your career. She says, I'm a Leo. So, okay, so it's addressing you personally and saying like it's time to tap into that energy. I'm sure you've heard some of the horoscopes for Leo, right? Venus retrograde in your sign. It's about kind of getting into the zone of like, what's best for me? What do I need? And we're also seeing that both Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus. So it is huge energy change in regards to your career. So I would also anticipate probably what you're going to see, just knowing that you're a Leo, is with the transits happening this summer, there's a lot of like regrouping and figuring out what direction you're going to go in. And then as we're getting into the fall, yeah, you could potentially make some huge changes in your home life as planets are moving through Scorpio. Just sidebar, make a mental note of the eclipse that's going to be at the end of October. I believe it's like the 28th. That's going to be in Taurus, and that's going to be 10th house relating to career for Leos. Here's the thing is that, you know, the Two of Swords is coming up, which is telling me that there is some indecisiveness. That's like, okay, I know I need to make a change, but there can be a sense of hesitating right now or maybe reevaluating your options. I feel confident that this is not about you being in a situation where you have to move. It's that you're contemplating whether or not you're going to, and if you're going to do it, when, and it's about weighing your options. That is a card, especially in the ending position, that makes me feel like things can go one of two ways, that the future is not defined in this situation. Confirmation card that I got for you is the Page of Swords, which is talking about picking a lane, sticking to it, making a choice, taking some kind of action, and seeing what else is out there. Definitely, I would say considering looking at job opportunities that might be in other places and making those connections, applying for things, you know, traveling and like going to interviews or talking to people, or even taking another job that could be remote, so it's giving you the freedom to kind of work anywhere, seems to be the key. Page of Swords comes up sometimes when it's time to initiate something, have a conversation with someone, reach out, you know, apply for something, have a chit chat, or reach out and like ask information about potentially applying for a job. So to me, it seems like, you know, you're already sussing out potential places that you can go to. Maybe you're thinking of like one of two places or one of two potential jobs. Things are probably going to be coming in twos with this, you know, particular card. And it's about not spending too long, like not hesitating when it comes to making a decision. Right now, just knowing that like some of the planets are in some wacky positions until we get to about like the 19th, 20th of August. Cool it. Like it's a good time to look, but I definitely don't feel like it's a time to make a move. And likely I think what you're going to see is closer to November. That's when that kind of transition is going to naturally kind of happen, right? You can afford to travel away often. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would say go looking for something new, because it looks like whatever opportunity is presenting itself to you that's allowing you to move is something that you're actually going to drum up, and it is connected through your career for sure. Good luck with that change. It looks exciting. I feel like you're going to like have your choice. I mean, there's always a choice, but you're going to have a choice between like two potential offers or two potential places that present themselves. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Thanks for tuning in, Jess. I've got Michelle, and Michelle says 3 cards, please. What's up, Michelle? You here? Missip. Hi. Thanks for visiting. One of 2 places for work. Well, which one are you going to feel like you have the most, I would say like versatility in, right? What are you going to have the most versatility in? All right, Michelle, I'm going to give you a general reading if I do not see you. Let's see what these cards say for you. In this order, ooh. We've got the Moon, the Page of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. Have you guys ever like had that feeling where you're like, I don't know, I just feel like something really good is coming? Michelle, that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. And I don't know if this is just what you're picking up on intuitively, if you've been having dreams, if you've been meditating, if you're like, I have a really good feeling about the turn of events that are going to take place in the immediate near future. The Moon card talks about intuition, it talks about dreams, visions, it talks about feelings, and really kind of like seeing your way through the dark. It might be talking about like the light at the end of the tunnel. So maybe there's been a lot of questioning, doubting, wondering, starting to kind of really move through something in a way where you're like, okay, you know, is there something good that's going to come of this? Am I going to be able to overcome some of the challenges, especially fear? While the Moon card can be great for like intuitive stuff, I don't think enough readers touch on the fact that this talks about all the things that happen in the dark. So where we get scared, we don't know what the future holds. We're not entirely sure what's going to be kind of coming for us. The Moon position in the past can also be saying like having gone through something on your own and feeling maybe like you've been struggling on your own. And not being able to have faith or clarity for the future, and like potentially even like worrying about worst case scenario. Now, the Moon is also about our instincts, okay? So if you're feeling instinctually now, the past is behind me, I feel like something good is coming, I haven't seen it show up yet, the Page of Cups and the 4 of Wands is definitely a really positive indication that there is like support on the way. It can be about happier times. Pages can be indicating that there's something new that you're going to be participating in. It can be a relationship. It can be a connection that you have to a younger person. It can also be a water sign. So Cancers and Scorpios and Pisces do kind of pop up with this card sometimes. Page of Cups offers you an opportunity to get in touch with like a more creative, whimsical, sensitive, even romantic energy. And so sometimes this can be the very beginning process of talking about a new feeling, a new emotion, a new romantic connection, a new relationship might be kind of popping up for you as well. And then we have the Four of Wands, which is about celebration of where you're at right now. Not being worried about the future, not being stuck in the past, like really being in the moment and like enjoying yourself. This can be parties, gatherings, get-togethers. This can be, live music and plays and anything that involves socializing and like people kind of being in a temporary space. So I wonder if you're kind of like questioning like, okay, I feel like I may be ready to take the next step in, meeting somebody new, making a new relationship, making new friends. It does seem like opportunities are coming your way and that there's going to be offers for you to go and participate in some of these events. Might be a chance meeting or a chance connection that you have at a party or at a social event. And what I like about the Four of Wands is, like I said, it's temporary. It's almost like having fun and being carefree and learning to be present in the moment. And that you're learning to have more hope or more inspiration, that the tide is actually turning when it comes to either your social life or when it comes to your relationships in some way. And I do feel very strongly that it is going to be about some kind of like relationship that's harmonious, that's developing. So if you're in one, it can be about connecting to a club, making a new friend, having somebody who's going to kind of like include you in some kind of group. Or if you are hoping, or feeling like you're ready to kind of connect to somebody, likely you're going to see that happen possibly within like the next lunar cycle or within the next month, because the moon can talk about 1 month and then the Four of Wands can talk about 4 weeks. And if you get invited to go to anything, like if there's concerts, parties, gatherings, get-togethers, if there's something that you may even have to like go to that's like a fair or something that's temporary, I recommend going, because you may have like an intuitive hunch that's like, I don't know, I feel like I should be there. There's something there for me. Go, even if it's a little bit out of your comfort zone or if it's a little bit out of your day-to-day kind of travels. I think it's going to bring some positive connections and potentially even opportunities for romance. Good luck. I hope that's helpful for you, Michelle. Definitely a positive combo there. We've got Sophia, Janae, and then Anne. What's up, Sophie? I know you're here in the chat. Do you have a general reading or do you have a particular question for me? Let me know. And those of you guys who are just checking in, if you guys make a PayPal donation, let me know, or you can scan the QR code up here. And that will take you to my PayPal page. So it looks like after Jerome, we got Tara, Lynette, Deanna, Joe City, and Rael. Oh boy. Okay, so let's see what's going on. So Sophie's dealing with issues revolving around her living situation. Let's see what the cards have to say. Talking to lawyers, seeing what the steps are, where I will be living. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so in this order, okay, so we've got 5 of coins, 6 of cups, King of Pentacles. Just food for thought also, you're a Libra moon in your 3rd house, and the 3rd house is about movement, okay? So we've got eclipses that are coming through on your moon that's going to be taking place, obviously in the fall. We also are going to see that Mars, which rules your 8th house of money owed, is going to go into your 3rd house. So it's like paying for potential moving fees and also like negotiating some of these terms. And then an eclipse that's going to be, like on the cusp of your 8th or 9th house, depending on what degree that is. So just the astrology in general, it does seem like that's possible. It's interesting because I kind of feel like in the beginning, there's a little bit of like potentially getting screwed. Okay, so with your 5 of Pentacles in the past position, it's being like, okay, here's the notice, like good luck, you know, and like not really taking you into consideration and kind of leaving you high and dry. Obviously, we know the 5 of Pentacles is about being left out in the cold, not getting support, not being given any assistance, and kind of being, like detached from the situation and not giving you what you necessarily need. This can be a card that's about being like, I could be facing not having a home, or I could be in a situation where, like I don't have something lined up. What am I supposed to do? I also know that if it's a situation, depending on like zoning, that you're also going to have like other rights. So obviously talking to an attorney is smart. 6 of Cups is interesting because this does make me feel like there's going to be a re-meeting, a rehashing, a reconnection, like having to kind of sit down and talk about this. Like they may come back and sit down and offer you something else, or try to negotiate something. Like this is a card that's generally a positive card, but I do think it's going to be a little bit of like back and forth. And I feel like maybe they realize that, whatever they have offered you wasn't enough, and then they come back with something else. And even though this is a card that's like sweet, it's also like sometimes it can be a card that's about being like idealistic. So maybe they're like, well, she'll be happy just to take this. This is what we'll give her. Maybe she'll just accept it and move on. So I would say just keep in mind, even though their interaction can seem sweet and innocent and kind, there is like a sense of being like, well, this should be good enough. Like there's no problem here. Not taking into consideration displacing somebody, moving costs and like all of that stuff, especially if you do have rights in regards to the particular zoning that you're in. So if that's something that is especially if it's something that is like rent controlled, I feel like it's going to be more challenging, and I would really like look into whether or not you actually physically have to move because of like displacement. Okay. Then we've got the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles coming up also does seem to kind of say that like all is well as ends well. This can be a card obviously about having somebody who works on your behalf to like ensure that you get fair treatment and like, fair exchange and payment. It does, because it's a king, talk about mastering and handling the situation and being able to overcome the situation in a way where you feel like you have control, and also financially and physically, right? You're covered. This can be talking about somebody who may potentially also help you and represent you when it comes to like a physical or a financial matter. It does talk about you, being, protected, or you having some kind of security, or you having something that is going to allow you to be stable. Confirmation card is the bottom of the deck. For that, I get the King of Swords. So I do feel like there is going to be like a bit of like a back and forth that is going to be going on. I also wonder if there is a sense of them trying to push off what they're offering you as, okay, you can take this or you can take nothing, or be mindful of something that may not be consistent. Like if they say, well, this has, X amount of time for you to accept, I would not get pressured into anything, because the King of Pentacles takes his time before making a decision. The confirmation card of the King of Swords does make me feel like you may have somebody who speaks on your behalf or negotiates the deal, to ensure that if you are going to have to go, they're going to have to potentially either, cover your costs, or, it's going to be something that you guys are going to have to go back and forth about. But nothing here makes me feel like you're going to be displaced, obviously. To me, it seems more like having the right person that's on your side to help you work through some of this, so you're not feeling like you're having just to take whatever they offer you and be like, okay, that's enough, I'll just leave. Especially a little disheartening, being in a place that you've been for so long, right? Oh, I may have some dirt on them, bad construction practices, etc. So they may have even more leverage. Yeah. And also the other thing I would say is that, is this something they're doing to other people? because the Five of Pentacles coming up with the Six of Cups makes me feel like there can be a sense of you going back and forth with other tenants, if there's other tenants either on the premises or what have you that are also potentially getting pushed out. And when I see like the Five of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, it makes me wonder, like, is it a situation where they bought the property, they moved in, they're flipping it, like, and they're trying to, potentially like turn a profit because they want to make more money because of what's been put into, this particular like location. So if they're trying to get their money's worth and they have people that have been living there for a long time, I think that they're going to realize that they're not going to be able to just get rid of people as quickly or easily as they think. Yeah, all your neighbors too. Yeah. So personally, I feel like there's strength in numbers in this situation. So I almost wonder if it's worth talking to like another neighbor or somebody before you decide that you want to maybe go and approach somebody to negotiate the deal. Because it seems like you guys could stick together and basically be like, this isn't going to work for us. Obviously this was a couple years ago, but we lived in the same neighborhood, lived in the same area. And I personally had a client who was within the same area that we were living in. And she was living in an apartment and it had like maybe like 6 or 8 units. And same thing happened to her. They offered her basically like a couple $1,000s, nothing much, to like leave. She was like, no, I'm not taking it. And because it was rent controlled and she had been there for several years, she fought it and negotiated 50 grand per person in the house. So there was obviously so many units, but her and her partner both got that much to leave. I'm not saying it's going to be the same thing, but obviously I would take into consideration your rights revolving around how long you've been there and the cost of the actual misplacement, because that seems to be the biggest theme here, is that they're misplacing you and now you have to go and find a place that is going to be significantly higher in terms of your actual cost of living, and it may already be something that's rent controlled. But I do think you'll have some support. I would call like the housing authority in LA and get some information, because I know they have people that you can talk to that will give you information about that. And there seems to be like a strength in numbers situation. So I would talk to your neighbors and see what they're also doing. Good luck. Keep me updated. I'm sending you lots of good vibes for that. That's a tough one. Okay, so we've got Janae and Matt. We'll leave this open for like maybe like another 10 minutes. If you guys want to sign up, let me know. All right, so we've got Janae, general reading. All right, I got you. You're welcome, Soph. I will call you and get the details. So we've got Page of Wands coming up for you, Janae. I like this. I like this in the midst of Leo season. I like this with trines that we're going to be seeing this week. We're going to see some fire trines, which is going to get things rocking and rolling and super active. Pages are always curious. It's young energy. It's initiating something. It's something brand new, something that they're learning, or it's about having fun. Pages, when they are coming up, can be about you starting a new hobby, doing something new creatively, taking some kind of action. It can also be talking about kind of embracing more creative, childlike qualities. You might see that this is brought on by an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius. This card coming up is also about being like excited about the future potential of something. So I'm wondering like what new things you're initiating and you're starting. Confirmation card I got for you is the Ace of Cups. So I feel like this is about being like, I'm going to get back out there. Like I want to get back out there and meet people. I want to have fun. I want to be maybe initiating new relationships. Maybe you're feeling a little, travel happy and a little curious and feeling like you need a break from your everyday grind and routine. This also makes me feel like there may be new opportunities for you to connect with people if you're broadening your horizons and getting out of your usual day-to-day. So whether that's being like, I'm going to start something new and maybe go and participate in some group thing in the other side of town, or I'm going to, get out of town for a day or two, or I'm going to try to meet with a group of people that are active. The Page of Wands is about being able to seize the opportunities that are coming in when it comes to adventure and creativity. So it looks like you're initiating that right now, and I would look for fire signs that might be popping up and kind of helping you with that. Good luck. I hope that's helpful. Got Anne. She says, pamper yourself. Thank you for your time, your kindness, and your wisdom. I know that you were saying that you wanted to see what your guides had to say for you. At least I thought that's what you said. Let me see. Oh, you're welcome. All right, Anne. Nope, it's not too late. If you guys want to jump in, you can. We're going to leave it open for another like 5-10 minutes. All right, so let's see what Anne's guides want her to know. In this order. Oof. All right, so we've got the Emperor, the Queen of Cups, and the the Three of Swords. Nope, we didn't get you yet, Farah, don't worry. So the Emperor, the Queen of Cups, and the Three of Swords. All right, so the Emperor is a major arcana card. This is a card that deals with bosses, partners, sometimes men, father figures. It can also be about your feelings of responsibility, whether that's for a person, whether that's for a relative, a family member, your career. The Emperor is an energy that's connected to Mars, okay? So that being in the position here is basically saying, I'm really focusing on what I can control. I'm really focusing on what I can get done, what I can achieve, being more assertive, being more direct. And I don't think that this is more in an active way. I think it's more in an emotional way because that's coming up in collaboration with the Queen of Cups. And notice that the Queen is facing the Emperor. So it's basically saying maybe she's feeling guided. He's giving her a sense of direction. And I think this is about protecting your heart, to be really honest with you. I don't see this as being a heartbreaking situation. But I feel like this is about you going, okay, things that have gone on have definitely taken a swipe at my emotions, my heart, my self-esteem, my security. And I'm no longer willing to feel like that. I'm actually going to get up and do something about it. I also feel like the Emperor coming up with the Queen of Cups can be about somebody who's coaching you or encouraging you or trying to get you to realize that strength doesn't necessarily have to come from physical strength. It can come from emotional strength and the willingness to keep going, right? And to persevere. I think that's like a big theme. You know, the Three of Swords is a difficult card. That sometimes means that, you know, in the final position, in order for us to really heal and move forward, we actually have to take charge, and we have to be willing to acknowledge the fact that someone hurt our feelings, they broke our heart, we were disappointed, maybe we felt abandoned or let down in some way. And that's the first step of being able to heal, is being able to admit, you know, I'm not angry, I'm hurt. I'm not frustrated, I'm disappointed, right? I'm not, you know, getting vengeance, I'm grieving. And being able to do something that can be positive and kind of like neutralizing some of these negative emotions. And it can feel like cathartic that you're having to kind of move through this right now. It's a tricky situation with the Three of Swords. It's similar to like, you know, when you see somebody who has like a wound, or something that, you know, has kind of been lodged into their skin, right? When you pull it out, you have to do it quickly and you have to apply pressure. And so when that card comes up in the future position, it's basically saying like, yeah, it's painful to address some of these issues and you need to do it in a very gentle, cautious way. But for the wound to be able to heal, you have to be able to actually acknowledge and come to terms with like what happened. And so, yeah, a cycle, you know, closing a cycle, and, you know, finally moving forward. And I think maybe consciously also realizing that you don't want to carry that wound with you anymore. You don't want to feel like you are identifying with like being a victim, or you don't want to keep perpetuating this like reoccurring cycle of the trauma drama of rehashing whatever has happened. I could also see this is about, you know, maybe forgiving, obviously not forgetting, but forgiving. And I think, I mean, there's a lot of this going on right now with some of the Venus-Uranus stuff and definitely with Pluto square the nodes, I think a lot of people are really having a difficult time like letting go of old patterns. And also intuitively, this feels like forgiving someone, even though you might have like a really strong connection to them, like forgiving them, even though they may have disappointed you or they may have let you down in some way. And being like, yeah, you know, it was this relative or this partner or this friend or what have you. And like, they should have, you know, treated you better, or they should have had your back, or they should have showed up, but they didn't. And like forgiving that. And not, you know, just assuming that they could have, should have, would have, just because of the relationship that you have to them, right? Relationships is cups. And I finally feel like this is this seems to be like the final act of feeling like you're in control of whatever has kind of gone down in the past. Yes, it's painful, right? There's no way around that. But what you get as your confirmation card is the King of Cups, which is interesting because it might be about integrating masculine and feminine energies and not just healing from a state of emotional stuff that's more feminine, but also like the masculine, and recognizing that part of the anger, the frustration that's coming up, I think is about addressing it and being like, yeah, now I'm going to do something about it. And it does seem to represent coming closer in a relationship, or that, you know, it may allow you the opportunity to bring somebody into your life that's a healer or a support system. And somebody kind of being there for you along the way as you go through this, and it can bring you much closer to another person. Some powerful stuff there, sending you lots of healing throughout this, because it does look like you're still kind of moving through it a little bit the next few weeks. But yeah, definitely the wound is going to heal, and there's a leveling up that happens with the King of Cups, leveling up, especially emotionally. Good luck. Thanks for your support. We're going to leave everything open for another 5 minutes. So if you want to get a reading, jump in. Anne says, yes, a healer for my youngest son. I like that. What's up, Matt? Matt says, why is the woman I'm talking to acting so weird? She's a Cancer sun, Mercury and Venus, Aquarius moon, Libra rising, Virgo Mars. Well, Matt, I can tell you from one Libra rising's perspective, Venus is retrograde. So a lot of Libra risings aren't feeling so lovable right now because our chart ruler is retrograde. When we have planets going through our 12th house, which is where we want to be alone, we want to hide, we feel a little restless or a little nervous sometimes. Transits through there, and a Mercury retrograde, which will be coming up there pretty soon, can definitely affect the way that we communicate. But let's see. Let's take a look. 12th house is where things go to rest, and she's got her transit Mars going through there right now. So that can mean she's kind of taking a break from relationships, or she might feel kind of overwhelmed or burnt out with them at the moment. Or men rules her 7th house. In this order, well, this episode of Beyond the Veil is brought to you by the Emperor, because he's going to make another appearance. Same position, same place. Interesting that this is about Mars. Matt, I kind of feel inclined to question, like, what's the deal? Like, is she keeping her options open? Have you guys talked about what you're looking for? I'm looking at that 3 of Cups, and I'm like, is there a sense of her getting into the swing of dating? Is she trying to like meet people? I don't know. The Emperor coming up in the past position makes me feel like this is about you, I think, wanting to feel like you either have control of the situation or you feel secure. You want to know like where things are going. It can mean that the way that you've been carrying yourself in regards to this, potential connection has been super legit. You're on top of it. There is a sense of you showing up, doing what you got to do, and really like playing your role in the connection with this other person. This can also mean that you've come to a point where maybe you kind of recognize and realize that you're not going to either waste your time or waste your energy if you're potentially dealing with somebody who's not on your wavelength. Also, just thinking about you being in Aries rising, okay? Like eclipses in your first house, Mars is going through your sixth house. You're going to notice as planets are moving through your sixth house that you're really making the most of your schedule and your routine, and you want to feel like everything is just like bang on in terms of like things kind of flowing and feeling like there's a lot of productivity, even if it's in relationships. You have a Venus retrograde in your fifth too, so there's something kind of changing directions with relationships. Maybe look at what happens with the Cazimi when the Sun and Venus come into conjunction here in this next week. I feel also that with the Eight of Coins coming up in the center position, it's like you're trying. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do what I need to do, whether that's following up with her, checking in, making plans. Like you're not willing to kind of give up. You're seeming really persistent and wanting to ensure that you're kind of like checking all the boxes and really showing up in a way where you're like, okay, I want to see some kind of headway in this connection. So the Three of Cups coming up makes me feel like one of two things. One is there can be some kind of connection. You guys can come together and feel like, okay, you know, maybe things are a little weird when we're apart, but when we come together, things feel good. It can also be about there being happier times ahead, especially in the immediate, like next 3 weeks or so. Going out for dinner, having drinks, you know, spending some time together, kind of like cutting loose a little bit. Seems like that might be helpful in breaking up some of this energy and creating an environment that's more relaxed and maybe even inviting. But the Three of Cups also can be about being like, is there a third party involved? You know, are there potential other people? I wonder, right? There's nothing coming up saying that's the case. Confirmation card I get is the Ten of Coins. So that's a positive card. That's basically saying like, you know, really looking for something that might actually stick. You have to take into consideration that you are going to be having planets go into your seventh house here soon. So when Mars moves into your seventh house, when Mercury moves into your seventh house and planets are in the seventh house, and then we have eclipses, September, October is going to be really quite active, and you're going to see whether or not, you know, you're actually initiating relationships or not. I do feel inclined to tell you that to me, it seems to be indicating it's more on focusing on the quality of the time you have together rather than what's happening outside of that. And that this may be something that's like a bit of a slow burn when it comes to really kind of growing the connection. There's nothing coming up that's confirming, saying that there's anything funny happening, that there's other people. I feel personally like this can be just planets going through her 12th house where she's feeling like a little bit of like a retreat. And I would really pay attention to what happens when Mars comes into Libra, because you're going to see a lot of Libra risings in particular. They're going to kind of jump into action and they're going to want more relationship opportunities. It's cool that you're coming up as the Emperor because, you know, her seventh house is Aries. So for all of that energy to be kind of building in her seventh house, she is supposed to bring somebody in who's supposed to be a little bit more direct and assertive. And, you know, as Libra risings, we can be a little indecisive. So sometimes it's a matter of being like, hey, are you interested in it or not? Like, are you doing this or not? And that might be enough to make her realize like, okay, you know, like, let's get together, let's do something. And be more present and focused on being in the moment and having that experience rather than, okay, where is this going? Because I think if you're more engaging with how are we feeling right now rather than trying to figure out where this is going, you're going to see a slow but natural growth and development, I think, of the connection that you guys have. Good luck. Definitely a lot of this going on with the Venus retrograde for sure. And we're going to close the readings. So if you guys want to get in, I recommend getting in now. Otherwise, we're going to close them down. All right. So we've got Farah, Vanessa, Rome, Tara. You guys are all on deck. Marie says, I'm Libra rising too. The Uranus opposition, that's conjunct Mars. Whoa. Whoa, that's a lot. and Chiron. That is a lot. All right, so let's take a look. This is for Farah. Farah says, can I have a 1-card tarot reading for my career, please? You got it, Farah. Oh, goodness. Second time this card has come up. 3 of Swords. I'm kind of feeling like this can be talking about disappointment. Well, crossed with the 4 of Wands. So it's saying disappointment is only temporary. So 3 of Swords can be about disappointment, questioning, you know, where did I go wrong? What's happening? Why isn't this thing working? Why is this not moving forward? There can also be a sense of needing to feel like you have to let something go. I also feel like the 3 of Swords can be like anticipating or hoping that you're going to actually have a breakthrough and being like, why hasn't this happened yet? And like, you want to be careful with the 3 of Swords because you can get too comfortable being there. Like you can get too comfortable being like, this didn't work and that didn't happen and that's not moving forward. And like, you can get stuck there if you're not aware of your emotions. This card in particular says heartache, emotional pain, sorrow, trauma, and feeling lost or broken, some kind of grief. But that crossed with the 4 of Wands is basically saying this is temporary, okay? So you're trying to find, okay, well, where is there going to be a breakthrough? When is there going to be a change? It's temporary. You might look for this happening over like the next 4 weeks or so. Mars is in Virgo, and I've been hearing a lot of people that are like, I'm ready to quit my job, or they're having cutbacks at my job, or I got let go. Mercury is about to go retrograde in Virgo, so this is also about a lot of people being like, I want to change jobs, I want to change location, I'm not getting along with my coworkers, you know, I need to make a shift. This is happening for a lot of people. So I'm wondering, is this about this realization that's like something's got to give, something's got to change, and perhaps even like the disappointment maybe that's going on that has not happened. But it looks to me like it's going to be something that's going to pan out over the next 4 weeks. And then there's going to most likely be a breakthrough because this is about there being some new positive opportunity that feels more fulfilling that may come through. But right now it looks like it's a little bit of like kind of being in waiting. Okay. Or disappointed with a result of some kind that's happening at the moment. Hopefully that's helpful. Sending you good vibes. Miss P, what was your first name? So I know if I read yours or not. Thanks, Rosie. I will let you know. I will call you. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. If I have not called your name yet, you have not gotten your reading. We've got Vanessa, Jerome, Tara, Lynette, Deanna, Miss Dro City, Rael, Marie, Joanne, Crystal, Selwana, Alexandria, Varnish, Ascend Truths, and Lindsay. You guys all have not gone yet. Okay? You all have not gone yet. Lynette, I have not done yours yet. I have Vanessa, Rome, and Tara. You guys are next. D, what's your name on PayPal? Just so I make sure I've got everybody. Yeah, just be patient, guys. Don't worry. We're just doing the readings in order that they came in. So it's going to be a little bit. I don't see a Belinda or a Joan, so let me know your PayPal name, please. Are you Deanna? I'm calling the name that comes out on PayPal. So if that is your PayPal name, we are using your PayPal name. Sometimes it differs from what you guys have on YouTube. Okay, Rosie, I got you then. Okay, Dee, so you're on the list. Just listen for your name. I'll call you out when we're a couple people close by. Okay. All right, so we've got Vanessa, Rome, and Tara. Okay, these are who's next. All right, Vanessa, what's up, girl? Hi, this question's for my sister, 4/12/89. She's going to court on August 14th to determine legal custody between herself and her ex's aunt. The aunt has custody. Will the court favor my sister and reunite her children back with my sister? Anyone she should pray, light a candle to? Thank you so much. Okay, let's take a look. Being in Aries and having that Venus retrograde in Leo is a good sign that there could be a reconnection with children. Holy cow, the Emperor again. Wow, this is like literally today's session is definitely big Emperor vibes. The Fool card, the Emperor, and the Two of Pentacles. You know, sometimes the Emperor can be about decisions that are being made revolving around like superiors. So you know, judges and bosses and father figures and stuff like that. So I don't know what the situation is with baby daddy, especially if it's a situation where the aunt is involved. I would assume that's colorful. The Fool coming up first is saying new beginnings, new opportunities, leaping into something, taking a chance. And so I don't know if this is about her challenging the custody order and taking this back to court, or being willing to be like, yeah, I want to be able to have a relationship with them again. This is also feeling like optimistic and like willing to, make changes and willing to kind of show up. I wonder if this is also going to be in regards to her, you know, going to court, being like, these are all of the things that I'm doing to be able to like see and reconnect with my children. So a lot of actions revolving around that, not just showing up to court, but also like how she's building a life or curating a life so that way she can be more active in their life. The Emperor makes me wonder if it's going to be challenging, because it looks as if there's going to be somebody who is either making a decision, passing a lot of judgment, difficult to kind of, convince or like coerce. This can also be saying that it's about showing stability. It's about showing, that she has, a job, or that she is responsible and that she is capable. The Emperor can also be coming up talking about like men being involved, or father figures being involved, or like people being there to speak on her behalf, or her having some kind of, proof of security or support. That being in the position does make me feel like, in regards to her, that she is going to go in and she's going to be able to do that. She's going to be able to kind of show, okay, I am capable, I'm responsible, I'm in control, I'm in charge, and having like the upper hand, because nobody trumps the Emperor. So it does make me feel like that's working in her favor. The Two of Pentacles seems that there is going to be a bit of give and take. So if it's a situation where somebody else has custody currently, it does look like for sure there is going to be a change. Two of Pentacles. But there is like a sense of it, them being like, okay, the aunt may still have visitation rights, or that it may be a 50-50 split, or that they're going to allow the kids to go and stay with her. And it's going to be something that's going to be like monitored, or they're going to have to kind of circle back in 2 months and then talk about how the actual transition has gone. Because it does make me feel like there's going to have to be a little bit of give or leeway, or there's a sense of feeling it out before there is like a, automatic, confirmation or like guarantee of actual custody. I'm wondering if this is about them just ensuring that, baby daddy's family or the aunt, what have you, like has some kind of visitation rights, or they have some kind of involvement moving forward. that's going to be able to keep the balance so it's not totally offsetting or, you know, upending the kid's life, right? The Fool can be talking about younger people. And then the confirmation card that I get is Temperance. So it's basically saying, like, through patience and determination and the willingness to kind of let the pieces come together, it does seem to me like she's going to be able to kind of get what she wants and at the very least be able to see, you know, her kids more regularly again. But I do feel like there is going to be some share of some kind, or they're going to say, okay, we're going to do this for a period of time and we're going to see how it goes. Temperance is the same thing. Temperance is basically saying, like, we have to make sure that this is actually going to work and we have to make sure that this is like a smooth transition. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like court evaluations, or if there's going to be a sense of them wanting to kind of, you know, either follow up with you or see how the kids are doing over a 2-month period to see if they're actually making that transition okay, while ensuring that there is still going to be some kind of counterbalance to where they have been. Okay. Good luck with that. Hopefully that's helpful for you. And I would just do like a road opener. You could do a road opener candle, obviously, so like the orange candle, or you can do like the green and orange candle, and maybe like incense or, you know, herbs that revolve around like Mercury can be helpful, or like using keys, that can be helpful as well. Peaceful transitions, I think of like sandalwood, you know. Good luck. I've got Rome, Tara, Lynette, and Deanna. What's up, Cassie? Thank you. I got you. Hey, Carol. Rome says, I'm trying to meet someone I can date, but my routine is pretty much the same, and I really don't like to go out and drink. Do I need to change my routine up to meet someone, or will it show up for me in my current routine? I'm interested in someone, but I'm not sure about them, yet I want to keep my options open. Well, I'm going to tell you, being an Aries rising, Venus rules your 7th house, and Venus is going to go retrograde in your 5th house, which means you have to return, right? Venus is retrograding away from your 6th house. So it says, yes, you got to change up your routine a little bit. Mercury retrograde will say the same. I think with like a Mercury retrograde in your 6th, it's about, you know, not falling off of your health or work habits, but still finding ways to integrate more opportunities for change in your routine. And when you have Venus retrograde in the 5th, you're opening yourself up to meeting new people and maybe making changes in relationships. It's a good time to be dating also, because Venus rules your 7th house. So it's about like committed relationships. So if you're willing to put yourself out there and meet or date in a different way, you will meet someone. So if you're not really into, you know, going out drinking and that stuff, it's challenging because Venus is in the 5th house of these things. So the 5th house is where there's going to be live concerts, or there's going to be plays or performances or live music. It could be casinos. It could also be like art galleries. It could be bars. I know that may not be your scene, right? With Mercury retrograde, you're like, I don't want to fall off my routine. And then Venus retrograde in the 5th, you're like, I'm going to these places, but I haven't met anyone. I do feel like it's worth it, especially because the sun is going to meet up with Venus soon, and we're going to see Venus that's going to square Uranus, which means if you change up where you're going and like, okay, you don't have to drink, but you can go out and you can have like, you know, like a seltzer or something and just meet people, just kind of mingle. You might, you know, go somewhere where there's younger people also, right, Leo? I do think that's a good idea. But let's see what the cards say. Okay, so it's in this order. Oh, hi. 7 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups. I like that this is about standing your ground. And so like, I feel like part of it isn't just that you don't want to participate in like a partying lifestyle, but you're really adamant about being like, I'm not going to change every aspect of my life just to meet someone, or I'm not going to like fall into bad habits. This is also about, you know, making an effort, right? So this is about like getting out there and, you know, overcoming a challenge, or being willing to be in a situation where you're willing to, you know, like see what else is out there. I feel like it's about putting yourself in an environment too where there are other people who are trying to meet people. So as much as you're like, I don't want to go to a bar, I don't want to go to a club, I don't want to go anywhere, going to some of these places where there's going to be some competition, right? 7 of Wands can be positive. Then we're going to see the Ace of Wands coming up. So that's about new opportunities. This is also about being able to focus on passion, creativity, having fun. Obviously, aces are about new initiations into energies, and Ace of Wands is about creativity, you know, sexual energies, desire, some new spark and some new initiative. Fifth house can also be about hobbies. So I'm wondering, like, with some of these retrogrades, is it worth going in, maybe, you know, joining a meetup group or doing something where there's going to be people who are out there doing something that might be competitive, or it might be involving like games? It sounds weird, but like, you know, if there are any local bars or any like clubs in your area where there's like people who are doing like, you know, something competitively, right? Some kind of like bar sport or competition, or maybe there's like trivia or something like that, that can be really good, where you could go and like connect and meet people. The Ace of Wands is also about taking action and like going, okay, I'm going to initiate this. This is something I really want to do. Probably the people who are going to have the best runs with the Venus retrograde is going to be, I think, Aries and Aquarius rising, because Venus is connecting to both of your guys' 5th and your 7th houses. So this particular retrograde can actually bring someone in if you're willing to put in the effort. And then the final card you get is the 10 of Cups, which is an amazing card. This is about complete emotional fulfillment, happiness, romance. You know, it's like almost too good to believe. It can be a happily ever after card. It can also talk about having emotional fulfillment and feeling like something has come in that's kind of complete. I think in many situations, like a Venus retrograde in the 5th is like, it was worth, you know, the summer romance, or, you know, going out there and doing the work and maybe going to some places you wouldn't go to because you really want to find a partner. So if you really want to meet somebody, it seems like the end result is like, well, I want to meet somebody who's quality. I want to meet somebody who I'm actually going to really kind of connect with and be able to kind of commit to seriously. So it does seem like the actions that you take over the next like 7 weeks or so, even though it is going to be a little getting out of your comfort zone, I definitely think it's worth doing, because very likely you're going to find that you're going to meet somebody that you're really going to connect with. I also know that, you know, you're going to be having a bunch of personal transits, you know, over your planets in Virgo in your 6th house. So there can be also a sense of being like kind of hard on yourself and really rigid and like not so sure if you want to make some changes, or you're going to feel kind of strapped by your routine. So adjust, right? Kind of ease into this. It's not something that you have to do overnight, but just create maybe like a day a week that you're dedicating to this, because it does look like it's going to yield some results. And focus on going somewhere where there's going to be something fun or something active or something competitive, right? Hopefully that's helpful. Good luck. I've got Tara, Lynette, Deanna, and Dro City. You guys are all next. So Tara says, what do you see coming for me in my relationship? Will I have any positive energy towards finding an apartment? Okay. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. You're welcome. Good luck. Tara says, I'm a Virgo rising. Well, thank you. I know the Virgo risings, they also have lots of move energy coming, especially by the end of the year. Let's take a look. In this order, 3 of Cups, the Star, the Hierophant. Ooh, I like this a lot. Interesting that, you know, like relationship stuff, 3 of Cups makes me feel like all is well, or there is some opportunity to collaborate or work together, or, you know, be able to find time to, you know, potentially be with another person. Oh, in relationship. Got it. So yeah, so Three of Cups is talking about options, mingling, connecting with people, seeing what else is out there. But I do think that this is about potentially bringing in maybe more than one person. I know for like a Virgo rising, the Mercury retrograde is in your 12th. So there can also be people who are interested in you, but you would never know. And like vice versa, there can be like crushes and you're like, do I say something? Do I not say something? You'll see as you get closer to like October, Venus is finally going to come into your sign and it's going to make some oppositions also to Saturn. So keep in mind that right now there's a lot of like seeing what is out there, seeing if you can connect with people. Sometimes it's about connecting with more than one person when the Three of Cups comes up. But it does talk about being able to have opportunities to socialize and kind of mix and mingle and maybe having a couple different options. I wonder with the Three of Cups coming up with a Star card, if there's some help or support in regards to a living situation or finding an apartment that comes from a group of people, right? So it's like, it can be a friend that's like, hey, there's like a place for rent, or, there's somebody that's like, hey, I'm renting this out, or I need a roommate, or, I've got a lead for you. Because the Star card is about connecting with a collective group. It's about wish fulfillment and getting what you need. I love this in the current position because it does tell me that there's like a lot of manifesting going on right now. There's a lot of really focusing on your goals and being able to see them like come full circle. I do feel like I would be mindful of your timing. Like if you're in a situation where you have to move, definitely planets coming into Scorpio in the fall can be really helpful. You're going to see like November through December is kind of that time. But equally, there's going to be a Mercury retrograde that's actually going to start mid-December. And the retrograde is going to go from Capricorn back into Sagittarius, which is your 4th house. And you are Mercury. So it's about reorganizing something in regards to your living situation. And it's going to come into conjunction with Mars. So November, December is more that timeline. I feel like with the Star card, you have the opportunity to really envision what it is that you want for that to be able to happen. And if there is going to be something that's going to pop up, it's going to come at, the help of a group or like other people. Then you have the Hierophant. So it's interesting because the Star card deals with like Aquarius and the Hierophant deals more with Taurus. And the Hierophant's about bringing things together and creating something that is going to be stable and something that is going to very much be like solid. Traditionally, this is about like spiritual wisdom. It can be about long-term commitment. It can be about religious beliefs. It can also be about you, making decisions and going in a direction and doing something that's like safer or more traditional even. So when it's talking about, or when you're asking questions about potential relationships and living situations, to me, it seems like you're going, I want stability. I want consistency. I want to know that if I have a relationship, it's something that's growing and I can rely on it. I want to know that if I have a lead for a living situation or a new apartment or somewhere that I'm going to live, I want it to be stable and reliable and consistent. You're really manifesting this stability in your life. I know for Virgo risings that also Jupiter and Uranus are coming into connection next spring. So a lot of you guys are moving back to your hometown. A lot of you guys are moving further away. You're considering foreign relocation. Some of you guys are moving to a city where there's a partner. So that can be coming up here for you as well. And I really feel like with the Hierophant, it's about going through the process and being really diligent and consistent with trying to create or curate something that's going to provide more so long-term security. So I don't really think that you're looking to be like, oh, I'm going to move into a place and just stay there for a year and see what happens. You're like, if I'm going to move somewhere, I want to know it's somewhere that I really like and it's a place that I can call home for a while. And so I think that the Star card coming up is saying maybe you're surrounding yourself with friends who are also going to be kind of building a similar kind of theme in their life where they're looking for stability within their home life and also their relationships. And you're wanting to bring more of those friendships into your life because you're going to become most like the people that you spend time around, right? So if anything, socializing leads to development in relationships and friendships, potentially leads with moving. And also when it comes to some changes that are potentially going to be happening with relationships, you are looking for something a little bit more serious, a little bit more long-term. Maybe you're going to notice that it's going to be closer to like between February and May, that more of that is kind of playing out. But for right now, collaborating with like-minded people to kind of help you achieve some of these goals seems to be the key. Good luck. What's up, Janae? What's up, Dave? David's in the chat. We've got Lynette, Deanna, Dro City, and Ray L. All right, so let's see what Lynette has questions about. 3-card reading, please and thank you. Lynette, do you have a particular question or you just want a general reading? You're welcome, Tara. Good luck. Make sure everybody's got their questions. So I'll do a general reading for Lynette, unless you have a particular question. Anything she needs to know, I got you. These are your cards in this order. I love them. The Hangman, the Ace of Coins, and the King of Pentacles. It's almost like hang on, support is on the way. Abundance, health, security, financial growth, professional growth, a real leveling up, right? The Hangman's an interesting card right now because, that's a card that talks about kind of being in limbo, feeling like you're in suspension. Maybe you're in between things. Maybe you're questioning whether or not you take some kind of leap. You might be reevaluating and reflecting on, what do I value? How do I want to make money? What am I doing with my resources? How do I make more? How do I get more so stable? How do I not just survive? I want to thrive. So the Hangman can be a moment where you actually need to take a step back and ask yourself these questions and really sit with it and meditate and reflect. Okay, that's the answers are going to come to you when you are alone and reflecting on some of this stuff. I keep telling everybody Saturn, which represents solid structures, right? Our reality, our limitations. It's in Pisces. Everybody will benefit from meditating the next 2 years because until you really sit and believe it and visualize it and connect with it, it's only then it can become real. So we are still learning that we are the creators of our own reality. So if you want to buy into fear and just trauma drama and manipulation and stuff, we can create that reality. So we all need to be more mindful of our mindset. But I think for you to move from this state of being okay, I surrender, I'm letting things go, the future seems uncertain, but if there's one thing I know, it's that opportunities flow effortlessly to me. I have access to a multitude of opportunities and money finds its way to me easily. So obviously Ace of Pentacles, right? New financial offers, new job offers, new opportunities, resources, stability, prosperity, health, stability. This is a very positive card. So maybe there was a sense of just letting go and letting God and being I know that the universe has my back, but I need you to show me a sign. I need an opportunity so I can take that step forward. And that's what's coming up for you right now. And this can be a theme that you're working on for the better part of the next year. Ace of Pentacles can sometimes mean that this will be something that's going to be a year in the making. It can also mean that it's about you taking, big chances over the next immediate month. Sometimes this is about investing in yourself as well. And so it might require you to be I'm going to go and take a course on, financial investments. I'm going to go and brush up on my skills. I'm going to go and redo my resume. Pentacles are physical. So we have to make physical changes. We have to take those physical steps forward. And this is a card that also deals with the winter. So December, January, February, you might really start seeing things kind of turn around from some of the actions that you're taking, that you're initiating now. But yeah, money can be offered to you, a job can be offered to you. And the King of Pentacles is a great card because this can be talking about you channeling the inner King of Pentacles, mastering your skills, mastering your business abilities, really focusing on your worth and leveling up and knowing that you're like, I have the capabilities. It starts with me. You know, I can make better financial decisions. I can make investments. I can also make the decision to start my own business or to go and try to apply for a new job. And so it's about taking action and investing in yourself and knowing that you're making better decisions, more financially sound decisions. This can also be an offer that comes from like a man. So it can be like a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, somebody who pops in and they're like, I need some help. You know, I need somebody to help me. And you might find that, hey, it's a part-time job, but it could turn into a full-time position. So if you've got somebody who's got the wherewithal, who's like looking for an assistant, looking for somebody they can hire part-time to help them with their business, this could also be something that can pop in that could allow you the opportunity to have more kind of free-flowing extra income. It could be that you have an idea and you're like, I want to put this idea into action. You know, is it time for me to potentially consider starting my own thing? I'll tell you that the Hangman is still saying that these answers are still coming to you. Things are still marinating a little bit. So it might take a little bit of time. You know, right now is not the time to be launching businesses. Venus retrograde, Mercury's about to go retrograde. I definitely feel like there's more energy in the cosmos with a lot of this stuff shifting closer to the second half of September. So if you're just starting to put in this effort, know that it can take a little bit of time. Really, as you're looking at the second half of the year towards the end of 2023, likely that's when you're going to start seeing these pieces come together. But it's as a result of you making the bigger decisions now and reinvesting in yourself. Okay? Great cards. I love to see that for you. Lynette, sending you all that good Ace of Pentacles, prosperity vibes. Looks like there's definitely wealth and change on the horizon. I've got Deanna, Dro City, Rael, and Marie. You guys are all on deck. Deanna says, tarot reading. Question, will I get a part-time job this year as a real estate agent or a real estate assistant? I'm hoping to get licensed soon. You're welcome. All right, so let's see. Is Deanna going to get this part-time gig either as an agent or as an assistant? Because she wants to get licensed soon. In this order. Wow, looks like it's a bit of an uphill battle getting to this point, my dear. Five of Swords and the Tower coming up with the Wheel of Fortune. You know, I feel like the Five of Swords can be talking about conflict, challenges, you know, conflicting schedules, issues revolving around like being able to complete something successfully. So I think really it's about being like, okay, how do I actually get to that point where I'm licensed? And maybe you're juggling something else. Maybe you're feeling a bit kind of conflicted because you're like, I want to do it, but I have to find the time to do it. And also like questioning whether or not there is going to be an opportunity for you to kind of connect with the right person. Five of Swords and the fives in general can also be about competitiveness. It being like a competitive, you know, place that you're potentially like a competitive business that you're trying to get into, which I think is pretty fair to say. This card in general, what does this say? Disagreements, competitiveness, unfair defeat, feeling, you know, some hostility or challenges, feeling intimidated. I would imagine that's a pretty hefty, you know, test for certification that you have to go through. So I think a lot of this can be about wrapping your head around being like, okay, passing this, getting this done, making sure I know everything so I can get the job. It does make me feel like in the right now with that and the Tower coming up that, you know, there's potentially going to be moments where you're questioning, is this the right path? Do I do this? Do I cut my losses? You know, do I stay with it? And the Tower coming up in the current position does talk about the sudden change. So I would look out for those Tower moments, to be honest with you. It looks like, you know, because that's a card that deals with Mars. Probably when Mars comes into like a trine with Uranus, you're going to see later in the month, there can be a sudden change, which can be good. But the Tower is generally when things happen and you're like overwhelmed and you're like, okay, how do I come back from this? I would be really cautious revolving around potentially, trying to work for companies or working for groups where they're bringing people in, but there's no guarantee. Because I could see with the Five of Swords that they're bringing people in to like assist and do things, but they're not guaranteeing, hey, if you end up getting, passing your certification test, we will hire you. Like, don't get sucked into a situation where, you're working in a competitive environment because they're looking for people to come in and support them, but they may not actually help them with the process of transitioning into being an agent. Okay, just hear me out on that. It might be about getting experience and then going elsewhere. The Tower card is also a card for me, that can talk about radical shifts and changing something about your foundation. So I do feel like if you do start working as an assistant, you might really want to take a look at the company you're working for, the people you're working for, and making sure that that's an environment that you want to be in. Because part of me feels like you might get in and get the opportunity to do this and get your feet wet, but then you're going to probably do your certification and be like on to bigger, better things. The Wheel of Fortune is quite a positive way to wrap up this reading, because it does kind of say like, things are going to change. Fortune's going to be in your favor. You're going to find that whatever kind of challenges or struggles or upheaval, especially in your schedule, or just wrapping your head around being able to make the time to do this, will pay off. The Wheel of Fortune does say good luck is coming your way. There's new cycles, there's new opportunity for abundance. There are new challenges ahead, but likely these are things that you're going to really be welcoming, and it's going to open doors for you and make you realize that it's going to give you more freedom. This card has associations and connections with Jupiter, so it can also be opening the door to, well, I don't just have to do this here, I can do this in other places. D says, I've been challenged with making the time to do this. There's always family stuff or health issues coming up that interferes with my plans. Yeah. And I think maybe, the Five of Swords has been the upheaval and the challenges. And then the Tower card is like you being like, that's it. I have to set this time aside to do X, Y, and Z. Once again, getting ready to have Mercury retrograde in Virgo. So many people are realizing, is it my health that is creating some challenges? How can I be working on my health and developing these routines? Because your wealth is in your health. So if you're making that a priority, you're going to be feeling better. You're going to feel more productive. This retrograde season is going to get everybody to slow down and look at that, right? So much productivity in Virgo. The sun will be there, Mercury will be there, Mars will be there. It's like, I'm going through the motions, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the work. And what people aren't going to realize is the oppositions to Saturn, right? In Pisces, which is low immunity and low faith and feeling a little sluggish. The oppositions to Neptune, which is also going to be about not getting adequate rest or not letting go of bad habits or self-undoing things or staring at screens too much. We're all going to spin our wheels. So this is a Mercury retrograde that people, if they want to feel more productive or more capable of making job changes, they need the skills, they need to make the time, and they need to be taking care of their health. And for you, this is that moment where you're like, no more excuses. I'm making the time. Even if it's just you dedicating, one evening or a couple hours a month to studying and doing that work before you make some of this shift. Because I know that after these transits go through Virgo, you're going to be feeling like, okay, I'm feeling more capable. I'm feeling more so ready. And your moon's in Virgo, so you have the opportunity to improve your health. But if your moon's in Virgo, it's also mental health, emotional health, stomach health, organization at home with the family, creating a schedule, right? So it's not all falling on you. It's letting other people know, I've got this thing I need to do. I need you to do X, Y, and Z to help me. This is when I'm available, and letting other people know in the house, maybe their responsibilities. So it's not all falling on you, and reworking some of those things, right? So it's making it possible for you to see the light at the end of the tunnel and go, okay, I now know I can do this, because this is only the beginning. If you're going to potentially be doing this kind of work and either assisting another person or maybe even working for yourself, you're going to need to know that you can kind of tell people, okay, I have to set this time aside for me to be able to be productive. But it looks like the Wheel of Fortune is saying you're going to move through this. That's also a card that talks a lot about, like, by the time you get to about end of November going into December, So I don't know if you have like a time frame, but I definitely feel like it could take until round about that time for you to see some of those shifts. Okay? Good luck. Sending you lots of good healing and new job vibes. All right, so we've got Joe City, Rael, Marie, and Joanne. All right, so Miss Joe City, Letty, Leticia. David says, smack the like button, kids. Letty, do you have a particular question for me? What's up? How's it going? Nice to see you. All right, let's see what she says. I will shuffle the deck while you think of your question. I always just picture you guys on the other side of the internet, like with the cat on the keyboard, just like furiously typing in your questions. That's what always goes through my mind, putting you guys on the spot. She says, what do I need to know? Good question to ask. That's generally what I ask when I get a reading too. Cat on a keyboard. In this order, 8 of coins. Oh, excuse me. In this order, Queen of coins, 10 of wands, 8 of pentacles. Pentacles, coins, same. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles talks about getting right and really nurturing and taking care of and growing health, wealth, stability, security, career, okay? This can be talking about Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns. It can be talking about you really focusing on, you know, what you can bring more of. Sometimes it's health. Sometimes it's in regards to your professional life and trying to figure out how you can nurture that more, because this is like a feminine energy. This can also be talking about focusing on, you know, having more safety, having more security. I like the Queen of Coins. She's kind of like the boss, you know. She's the most mature of all of the ladies. This is also doing a lot of work in regards to self-esteem, a lot of work in regards to your values. It's about practicing, you know, having like a good business mind and being really focused in terms of some of the moves that you're potentially making and how that's going to be affecting not just you, but maybe your home, maybe your family. It can also be about your physical state. So you're mastering that right now. And the 10 of wands coming up is like about grinding. So when I put the Queen of coins with the 10 of wands, it's being like, yeah, there's a lot that I'm working on right now. Like it's just day in, day out, same old, and really working hard and making sure that you're not dropping the ball. This card can be coming up where it's saying like you're getting to a point where you're like, I'm going to need a break, or you're overdoing it, or you're over-exalting yourself. This can also be about feeling a little burnt out, okay? So be mindful that even though you have a goal in mind and things that you're trying to achieve, there can be a sense of like being too much. And so I think, touching on the astrology, so much of the Mercury retrograde is being like, if it's all work and no play, you know, am I actually like, what am I working towards? You know, when do I get to take time to stop and kind of enjoy my life? Okay, let me see what you say. Oh yeah, I'm a boss of business. I'm just starting out, but I'm getting there. Well, I mean, look, your hard work's going to pay off, right? So and here's the thing. Nobody ever tells you this, but you work harder for yourself than you ever do for anyone else. I guess that's just the way that it goes. But this 10 of wands coming up is about moving through burdens, responsibility, obligation, and, you know, struggle. But also knowing that you're doing it because you're creating a quality product, you're providing a quality service, 8 of Pentacles. It tells me that you're also like working hard and getting all your ducks in a row for something. And so whether there's like launches that are coming or new products that are coming out, or, you know, you're really going through and making all of the tweaks and making sure everything is ready and that you've perfected everything before you roll something out. Because the Eight of Pentacles is about being a master of your craft. It's workmanship, focus, dedication, high standards, commitment, expertise, right? Which does make me feel it's going to pay off. You've got 2 coins coming up here saying, like, as long as you're focusing on your vision and you're willing to put in the hard work, even though it's going to be a lot of long hours, I do see it paying off. 4 of Pentacles is coming up, so it can also be about questioning, is it the right time to launch this? Am I ready? It can be about you really focusing on some of your long-term goals. I wonder if this is going to be about you going, okay, I'm managing product, I'm managing stock, I'm getting everything ready to start promoting it and rolling things out for the end of the year. I don't think a lot of people realize, in order to be prepared for the holidays, for like if you do sell services, you know, November, December, that a lot of that starts in like July and August, okay? And I realized that last year when I started, you know, creating stuff that I wanted to sell towards the end of the year. So like you, I'm doing the same thing. I'm preparing all of that stuff now. So holiday season is made in the summer. And I think that for you, it's like you kind of really reevaluating, like, you know, where is my time better spent and where should I be really applying myself and what's actually going to pay off the most? And I do see it paying off for you. I just see that it's a lot of work. And so I want to make sure that even though I know that you're dedicating a lot of time and effort to creating quality products, if you're starting to feel burnt out, it's okay to take time, you know, like take a few hours, take a day to be like, I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to rest. I'm going to come back to this tomorrow, because you're focusing on quality right now, right? But it looks like you're making things happen. You're making moves. And it looks like it's going to be quite lucrative. It's going to pay off. Good for you. That's awesome. Share, if you have a link to your products, you can share it. I'd love to see what you're making. All right, so we have Rael, Marie, Joanne, and Miss V. Let's see. So Rael says, I'm going to visit my longtime love interest out of the country next week around the 13th to the 16th. It feels big. How will this go? Good question. Are you a Virgo or a Leo rising? I'm so curious. A Virgo or a Leo rising, or even one of those 2 sun signs. I would love to know. So I have 4 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords coming up. Okay. Cancer rising, Aquarius moon, Capricorn sign. Got it. What's up, Lindsay? I see your payment here. Just let me know your question. You are the last person I have, so we got a couple people before we get to you. There's probably about 8 or 9 people, but let me know your question. Okay, so for, where is it? Here we go. For Rael, you can say it if you want. There we go, Ray. He's a Leo rising though. Okay. So 4 of Swords makes me feel like there is a sense of really sitting and needing to like either reevaluate. I'm wondering, like, has there been some disappointment because there's been either delays in getting together? Have you guys tried to do this in the past and it was like wrong time? This is about rest, retreat, recuperation. So it can mean that you're not just going to see somebody, you're also taking time off and you're wanting to focus on like unwinding a little bit. So to me, it doesn't really seem like a trip where you're like, oh, I'm running all over the place. It's like, let's relax, let's spend time together. Like, let's keep things mellow. This can also be about seeking like a sanctuary and needing to have a place where you can kind of like gather your thoughts and have some privacy. And also be focusing on like self-protection, okay? So it tells me that you're going and you may be a little guarded. You're going and maybe you're really feeling it out before you kind of let the cat out of the bag and talk about your feelings or open up too much or too quickly, that you're trying to kind of get a temperature on the situation. Followed by the Two of Pentacles. So that can be talking about you being like, okay, now we've spent time together. Now we can feel this out. Definitely feeling like you're weighing your options and trying to make a decision, but it's going to be difficult for you to make a decision, I think, while you're physically there and you're in it. Asking yourself whether or not you could see this like going any further. It can also be weighing your options in regards to the physicality of the situation. If it's like, okay, you live here and I live there, how do we make this work? That can be coming up as well. It can be about feeling overwhelmed with choices and multiple options, and feeling like, okay, you know, like some of the moves that I may potentially make here, not just physically, but in terms of this situation is big, because you may feel like there's a definitive decision that is coming. Then we have the Queen of Swords coming up. So that's about you. And obviously, you know, it looks like, what did you say? You have Cancer, Rising, Aquarius, Moon, Capricorn, Sun. So this can be about you being more direct with your communication, telling somebody what's up, like giving them, you know, your thoughts, telling them very directly what you need, what you're hoping to achieve, what you want to see kind of come full circle. I do feel like there's a lot that needs to be said. And I wonder if you've been like holding back and waiting until you can see each other in person. You know, the Queen of Swords does not mince words. She generally is like very, you know, direct and to the point with what she wants and what she believes in and what she desires. It makes me feel like that you're going to walk away from this situation and you're going to go, okay, now I have to make a choice, or I have to tell this person what it is that I want and what I'm actually looking for. It's interesting being a Cancer rising and a Capricorn sun, because I do feel like for you, the North Node, you know, transits are going to be about you being a little bit more direct out in the world and being like more assertive and telling people what you want, when you want, where you're going. But I also feel like some of the transits that are happening in Libra are going to be about making some big, excuse me, changes in your home or your living situation. So it does seem to me like you're kind of going to be feeling like between a rock and a hard place with having the eclipses come in squaring your sun. Change is inevitable, and I do think that this may feel like a situation where it's like now or never, and you're going to kind of be in the driver's seat of making some of those decisions. But if you're really weighing your options and kind of weighing the pros and the cons, I encourage you to like share that with this person and be like, okay, these are the things that may potentially have to change if this ends up being a relationship and we do connect this way, and like this is where I'm coming from and this is what I need. Because you have to get all of that out in the open, because when you start to experience the square from the nodes, it means that a relationship must evolve and give you emotional security, and also allow you to be, you know, completely forthcoming about what you need when it comes to your career or what you need when it comes to your status, right? So you're going to feel those squares, especially pay attention when we get to the end of the year and we have that Mercury retrograde in your 7th house, because to me, it feels like that's also going to be like the second act of making decisions in regards to commitment and possibly even where you're living. Speak your mind. Don't hold back, because it feels like there's been a little bit of holding back in the past and being like, okay, it's not the right time, or, you know, maybe they're not going to be receptive to what I want to hear, or, you know, there's too much going on. No more of that. To me, it seems like now is the time to be like, okay, are we doing this or are we not doing this? And I think definitely for Capricorns, you're going to hear with the eclipse that's going to be coming around Halloween, it's a real definitive kind of turning point, especially for romantic relationships, and being able to see whether or not a partnership that you're in, if you guys have common goals and if you can actually, you know, make some of these things happen. But don't hold back like you have in the past. Okay, it's really about kind of stepping forward and telling them straight up, what's on your mind. Because I do feel like maybe, you know, like this is like now or never, right? No cups are coming up, interesting. Nothing's coming up about the other person. It's more kind of coming up about you, and really it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to participate in a future relationship with this person. Good luck. I'm excited to see what happens. Where are you going? Do you want to tell us what country you're going to? I have Marie, Joanne, Miss V, and Selwana. Marie, do you have a particular question for me? And after Marie, I will take Lindsay. Let's see. I'm going to the UK. Well, at least it'll be decent weather right now, huh? Have a blast. That sounds like a lot of fun. Is Marie here? Marie? You have a particular question for me? Okay, while I'm waiting for Marie, I will, oh, there she is. Anything you feel is good. It's a mess. Okay. Let's take a look. It says, mind the gap. In this order. Well, I love this a lot. Okay, so feel free to give feedback or expand on what I'm kind of seeing here. What's going on in regards to something involving some kind of healing process? The Empress, the Page of Cups, the Temperance card. You know, it's funny, like whenever the Empress comes up with a page, it's always like healing childhood issues, healing an issue with a child, healing an issue in regards to a romantic relationship, putting yourself first, and like not allowing yourself to feel like you're having to make sacrifices for another person or for a relationship. These are all very positive cards. So for everything to be a mess right now, this is a good indication that you're well on your way to realizing that the key is prioritizing you. The Empress can be about focusing on creation. It can be focusing on Venus. It can be about, maternal instincts. It can also be about focusing on care and nurturing and like getting back into connection with yourself. Followed by the Page of Cups, which can be talking about a younger person. So sometimes Cancers, Scorpios, Pisces come up here. But I think that this is about the relationship that you're either having with a younger person or with a younger version of you, like inner child stuff. Pages also represent new opportunities. So the Page of Cups can be saying, well, I'm, reconnecting with this version of myself, or I'm revisiting something in regards to my emotions, my feelings. I am also open to developing a better relationship, maybe with a partner or with like a mother figure. And the Temperance card coming up is also talking about like finding balance, harmony, healing, finding opportunities for serenity, for calm and peace, and finding purpose and, feeling like things can kind of balance out. So I'm wondering like what's going on here. Sometimes I've seen this combination for people when they're going through like a transition phase, to be honest with you. Sometimes it can be a new transition in life where you're like, okay, I have, always been in a relationship and now I'm single and I'm alone with myself. And how do I learn how to redefine myself and prioritize myself and like handle the emotions that come with that? Here we go. Trying to heal for sure, but I seem to not be able in the relationship that I'm feeling stuck in. Okay. So interestingly enough, like none of these cards talk about ending a relationship. Okay. It's more about the relationship to self. So Page of Cups is about connecting to your own needs. This is a huge theme right now. With Venus retrograde, so many people are turning inward being like, I'm not feeling the love anymore. I'm not feeling the creativity, the excitement. I'm not really feeling like we're connecting the way that we used to, and I need more. And so I think the Empress card coming up with the Page of Cups is about kind of being like perhaps more that you're working on yourself and you're connecting to that energy, you're realizing that in order to give yourself what you need, it's not being fulfilled in a relationship, right? And that you might find that you're kind of moving away from partnership. You're moving more into yourself. Libra rising conjunct Pluto, Uranus conjunct Mars and Chiron. Okay, so part of what's going on also with, Venus retrograde being a Libra rising is that Venus going retrograde means it's harder for you to connect with yourself. It rules your first house and your 8th house, which means there's some kind of change that's going on. Intuitively, I know because Venus is retrograding into your friend zone, it can be about reevaluating your goals, going out, connecting with people who know you best, having fun, and being able to be around like-minded people, and having that reminder of like maybe who you were before the relationship started kind of taking a turn and realizing, whoa, I've lost myself. Sometimes having that connection can be helpful. The Page of Cups can be about the relationships that you have with other women or a particular woman who can kind of remind you of that. I do think that Temperance is talking about taking a time out, and it doesn't mean leaving the relationship, but taking time to be like outside of work, outside of relationship, and family, and all of these things. What do I want? What do I need? A lot of the squares also to Jupiter and Uranus in your 8th house is about reflecting on the fact that if you're not following some of your dreams or your goals, it's going to start kind of coming up for you emotionally or psychologically. Temperance can be about healing. And so I think with planets going through your 12th house right now, Mars is there. Yeah, a lot of Libra risings have been saying to me, I just want to be alone. I need space from my partner. I want to sleep in my own bedroom. I don't want to call them back. I've also heard a lot of Libra risings that have been coming to the realization that they realize that there is a natural ending that's coming for their relationships. And I think that you're going to start to really see this through the solar eclipse that's going to be happening in mid-October, because it's bringing the attention back to you. Part of it's also the south nodes in your sign. So there's a bit of an identity crisis. That's like, oh my God, I'm losing touch with who I am. Well, something new is emerging. So with the north node in the 7th house, being more assertive, being more active, going and socializing more, but also the fact that you might need more from other people, from relationships and stuff. I would be slow with the process. I wouldn't make any definitive decisions. The cards aren't indicating there needs to be a separation, but there does need to be a sense of reconnecting with yourself and listening to your emotions, because your emotions are telling you where something is kind of out of whack and out of balance. And know that South Node going through your first house is about letting go of an old identity. So maybe look at what happened about 18 years ago. The last time that we had these transits, like in the early 2000s, there was some kind of change that happened, and you redefined who you are because of the partnerships and the relationships that came in, okay? Do some healing work, especially with planets going through your 12th house and a retrograde in your 12th house. Reiki, right? Hypnosis, going to a spa, doing like a retreat, doing like a weekend away could be really helpful and helping you kind of calm some of these energies. Good luck. All right, so let's take yours truly. She says, hey, I paid for a reading for Lindsay previously. Haven't used it yet. Virgo rising, Chiron video really resonated. Thank you. Chiron's conjunct my north node in the 8th. Whoa. I'm in the beginning of a transformation and feel lots of resistance, starting therapy to support the release. What else could I be doing to help cultivate courage? Let's take a look. You're welcome, Marie. Good luck. All right, so let's take a look at what Lindsay needs to know about cultivating more courage in the midst of some North Node eclipses. In the 8th with Chiron, that's definitely finally having the courage to heal some of those wounds. You want to be looking at where Mars is. And if Mars is in the same sign as your ascendant right now, it's about the willingness to go and heal that. So therapy is very 8th house, right? North Node through the 8th house, definitely. I love these cards for you because I feel like a lot of this is about the consistency and the willingness to move through some of this. Queen of Wands is about showing up. It's about taking action. Here's the cool thing about having fire signs in what are typically water houses, right? Like 4th, 8th, 12th. I see this as, being in a situation where Change can come very rapidly. Healing and regeneration can come very rapidly. So you have that working in your favor. And with the transits going through the 12th house in Leo right now, it's trining that. So I think of like an extended Venus retrograde there of meditation, past life regression, the willingness to do some kind of ritual or, healing work before you go to bed at night, lighting a candle, doing some hot yoga, anything that's going to be fire related. But the Queen of Wands is coming up, which is a fire energy, and it's about being courageous. It's about confidence, right? Restoring confidence in yourself. And the willingness, I think, to move through some uncomfortable things and being optimistic about what can actually come of some of this healing work that you're doing. I also feel like this is about getting in touch with an energy that is a little bit more dynamic. It's a little bit more active. It can also be about sexual healing when you have Chiron in the North Node in the 8th house. And also healing and accepting endings and learning that endings make way for new beginnings. The 9 of Cups comes up in the current position for you. So that's about regenerating something, revolving around your wishes. So the 9 of Cups is a positive card. It's basically saying you're going to get what you want. And so if you want to feel a certain way, if you want to see a certain change, you're going to get what you're asking for. I do feel like there is a lot of emotional fulfillment on the other side of doing some of this work. So therapy and self-reflection and the willingness to kind of go into the depths of the 8th house will give you the end result that you're seeking. And I definitely think that it's going to bring more happiness and optimism as well. The 9 of Cups is always whatever you're wishing for, it's going to be granted. And then we have the 7 of Wands, which is interesting because this is about standing your ground and it's about consistency and it's about not backing down and like learning on one hand to like fight the good fight. But I think on the other hand, this can also be about learning to be more protective of some of your energies. Learning to be more adamant about, no, this isn't going to work. And, this is what I need in order to feel safe and secure. There can be some more combative energies that can be coming up. There can be less people pleasing. There can also be a sense of like not feeling like you just have to make sacrifices or feeling like, everything has to be perfect. I've been saying to a lot of my Virgo risings, the eclipses in your 8th house and Chiron in your 8th house, healing can feel messy. But it is important for you to participate in that, even if it feels uncomfortable and it happens very quickly and you don't exactly know the outcome of the healing, because Aries is about initiating something and Virgo is always like, but when is it going to be done? And exactly what do I have to do? And what do I have to take? There is no guarantees throughout those transits. It's about just showing up. I would go and look at your natal Mars placement. Obviously, if Mars rules your North Node. So if Mars is in the 6th house, it's bringing you back to health, wellness, and routine, right? So if you've got Pisces in the 7th, then you've got Aquarius in the 6th, and Pluto will be going there. So complete change of routine, complete change of lifestyle. That may be part of it. And with the North Node in the 8th house, there's also themes revolving around detoxing, purging, clearing things out. So maybe working with like hot herbs can be helpful, or infrared saunas, or anything that's going to help you kind of sweat and like purify and kind of clear things out, especially if you have all these wands coming up here. It's like being like, okay, well, you're going to get the results that you want if you're taking the action. And it might be physical fitness, it might be therapy, it might be also doing some kind of spiritual work, but all of it is revolving around that element of fire. So there's something that you're having to kind of burn and kind of push out of your system in order to make some of these changes happen, right? Big transit, Chiron on the North Node, eclipses involving your North Node, a nodal return. That's all about embracing endings and regeneration in your 8th house and the way that you look at kind of clearing the decks. And if you're willing to clear the decks and let the physical things go, South Node in the 2nd house, what you can receive, right? Or what you can give yourself. Aries, it can be what you give yourself. Those are some intense eclipses. I just went through those eclipses, not with Chiron, but I went through those eclipses. And yeah, I would just say the 2nd house Libra for Virgo is let people go. Let relationships go. Don't hold on to people. because doing so can bring more challenge with the North Node and Aries in the 8th house, right? And so the more that you're releasing objects and people and ways of people pleasing, the more that you can actually get in tune with yourself and also recognize that anger, right? Frustration, things that are coming up that have been repressed can actually be affecting you, intuitively. It can be affecting you emotionally. It can be creating issues with intimacy, and also resources. You're welcome. Good luck. Hopefully that's helpful. All right, so we have Joanne, Miss V, Solana, and Alexandria. All right, so Joanne says, had a major break with the divine on my solar return day on the 1st. Have a strong Cancer ascendant, natal moon, 12th house, natal ascendant, Cancer, natal sun, Leo on the 1st. I literally went to lay down my own cards as I do every day and decided I've been doing this for 40 years. In all that time, I've never been able to successfully manifest in all that time and put the cards back into the deck and put them away. I felt very done with divine feel to it. Is the card shedding any light on this? Thanks, Cassie. Happy belated birthday, Cassie. One of those people whose return falls the day before. Okay, so I want to understand what you're saying, because sometimes when there's like other emojis or punctuation, it doesn't come up clearly. So I'm going to read this again. I went to lay down my cards as I do every day and decided I've been doing this for 40 years. And all that time, I've never been able to successfully manifest, put back all the cards back in the deck, and felt like I'm done with the divine. Okay, so are you feeling like you're having a moment, or you're having a break from your guidance? Is that how I understand this? I just want to make sure I understand before I pull the cards. Interesting that you're a Cancer ascendant and Saturn is in your whole sign 9th house, which can feel about limitation or blockages. Saturn rules relationships, 9th house with higher power. That can definitely manifest that way for sure. Are you feeling like you're having like a moment where you need a break? No, you're not going to give up. But Saturn going through the 9th house, a lot of people can be like, why are we here? What's the purpose? I'm not connecting. What's going on? I don't know if I believe this anymore. Like, is there anyone out there? Right? Especially in Pisces. It's like, okay, is it just me on this rock spinning through space? What's going on? These are the cards that I get for you. I love that you got the Hermit card and the Emperor and the Judgment card, okay? The positive in all of this is that knowing that you're a Cancer ascendant and that you're going to be seeing that Saturn is going to start coming into a trine with your ascendant, and if you have any other placements in Cancer, there's a lot of support next year. It's actually in your 8th house right now. Okay, 8th house, whole sign 9th. But yeah, 8th house can even be more challenging. So Judgment, Emperor, and the Hermit card. These are 3 major arcana cards, which means there's 3 very big energies that are kind of hanging out currently. Judgment obviously is a card that talks about big decisions, definitive decisions. And it also talks about like the effects of the choices that you have made. Not like Justice card where it's like, okay, this thing happened and like, here's the repercussion. Judgment is like making definitive decisions and moving forward. So when this card comes up for me, you know, judgment, final decisions, wake up call, inner calling, life purpose, self-evaluation, awakening, and reckoning, right? There can be this sense of being like, I'm not feeling like anybody is connecting right now. You know, I'm not feeling like this is the method for me to connect right now. I'm not feeling like this is the way forward. If you have always read tarot, and like being somebody who's read tarot also, not as long as you, but for a while, you go through periods of being like, okay, like, am I connected? Like, is it just me? Like, is there anybody out there? And sometimes that can actually come when there is a change, as weird as it sounds, that's going on with like, you know, your spirit team. Like there can be one person clocking out of their shift and somebody who's coming in. I feel like for you with the Emperor card, it's both a combination of a leveling up energetically, but there's also like getting more so in touch with your own personal powers, right? Tarot's great, but tarot is a tool, like working with astrology or working with, you know, a pendulum or reading shells or reading oracle cards. Like these are all of the things that we do to confirm and get that validation physically of what we already know, what we're already feeling, what we're already anticipating, right? That inner knowing. And so sometimes when we're kind of leveling up, there can be a sense of these things slowing us down. And so what's interesting is with the Emperor position right now, I do feel like this is about you getting to a point where you're speeding up, mastering things, knowing for yourself, knowing what you need, being like, maybe I'm graduating from this. I don't need this as my confirmation every day, right? And maybe you have also noticed, I don't know if you've had this, I've noticed this a lot recently. I don't know if it's just the energies, but the very thing I'm generally thinking about, and I've noticed this a lot lately, it comes out quite literally in the cards. It's like I'll be thinking about, okay, what do I need to know? And like there's something that's kind of on my mind, and I pull my 3 daily cards and I'm like, why the hell did I pull these cards? Like this is just what I was just thinking about. Like I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I wonder if there's something similar going on here where there is this inner awareness that's like, I don't necessarily need this. And maybe you're outgrowing it a little bit, or maybe you're taking a break from it right now. And, you know, the Emperor card can be talking about a new guide coming in for you. It can be talking about a more active, assertive, you know, thinking on your feet, not feeling like you need to do all of the fluffy type of things. Like you're just like straight to the point and, you know, you're moving to it. Could it be the nodal changes? Maybe. I mean, I think now that the North Node is in Aries, I'm not giving everybody like the green light to like burn things down, but there's less patience, there's more action, there is definitely a lot more of needing to move and shake and not overthinking things and just like going with your gut. And so right now you're kind of mastering that. And what's interesting is that the Hermit card's coming up for you, which is like, well, fuck. It's like, if this is not working for me, this is sending me on one hand in a bit of like a spiritual spiral that's like, well, what do I do now? But on the other hand, it's giving you the opportunity to really go and find the next thing, or to go and research the next practice or the next belief system, or find the next teacher. It's giving you that green light to be like, okay, you know, you're like off with lanterns looking for yourself now. And maybe it is that scary moment where you realize like, wow, I've put a lot of weight, or I've put a lot of faith, or I've allowed a system of divination to tell me what's going to happen, right? And so maybe you're realizing like, ooh, you know, the force was always with you all along, and now you have to figure out how to, now you have to figure out how to go and channel that for yourself. And maybe it's sometimes like that inner knowing, right? So the Hermit card, when things get really quiet and you're able to kind of sit and reflect, you know, the answers will come to you. From the very beginning, one of my mentors for the longest time, she was like, don't waste your time with tarot, you know, don't waste your time with astrology, you know, don't do that stuff, because you like know, you know, you just sit down and you'll just tell people things that they need to hear, and you're able to read them. And while there's some truth to that, you know, muggles, they like the things. They want the cards to, you know, be able to confirm what the medium or the reader is telling you. They want to see the charts, they want to see the angles and all of that stuff. And it's great, but at the end of the day, you know. So I think more it's about developing that relationship with yourself and that inner knowing, and maybe going and doing a little bit of like research or exploring into other forms of divination that might also kind of give you that excitement, right? But the force is already within you. Good luck. I do that every few years. I do that with tarot, but I always come back. I always come back. Good luck. Let us know what you move on to next. I've got Miss V, Solana, Alexandria. All right, so Miss V says, will I pass my entrance exam in August? Well, thanks for subscribing, Cassie. I appreciate it. And yours truly, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to help. All right, so let's see. Is Miss V gonna pass her entrance exam in August? Oof, Page of Swords. Take your time. That's my advice, okay? I got the Page of Swords crossed with the Chariot, so that does kind of seem like you're going through the process, doing the exam. It's a lot of mental stuff. This is about communication, the willingness to kind of get things, done. This is also about, I think, memory, because the swords can be about what you're memorizing and how you're able to kind of get all of the information out on the page. But quick, right? It can be quick. Swords can rush through things. So I would say take your time. Don't do it quickly. Really take the time to read all of the questions, especially because sometimes with the Page of Swords, there can be like trick questions or questions that you read a certain way and then you answer it and then you go back and you're like, oh, I knew that, like I should have done something differently, or I should have responded differently. This is also about messages, okay? Messengers. So it might mean that, you're getting the message or the feeling, okay, I got to work more so in this area. This is also about information, okay, that you can kind of like sort through. So I wonder if this is about you consistently working with flashcards or doing like trial tests, or, having somebody ask you questions that you're answering and going back and forth verbally with another person to pass it. But as the confirmation that I got, the Chariot card, which is basically saying like, okay, you're going to be moving forward. It's going to be something that's going to kind of quickly push you in the right direction. But both of these cards are about slowing down and taking your time and really thoroughly reading and processing everything. And it looks like you'll get a pretty quick response. Like, I don't know if you get the results that day or if you get the results within like 24 or 48 hours, but you'll know very quickly if you've passed this test. And it looks like you're either going to get like an email, or you're going to get like a signature, or you're going to get like something's going to come to you like suddenly in regards to confirming whether or not you're going to move forward. And the Chariot is a card that is about success. So that's the confirmation message of success. Yes, you've passed the exam. Just take your time. Please take your time. Don't rush through it. Read everything, because I feel like there could be some tricky questions that is possibly for people who are not, taking their time as they're moving through the test. Circle back. Let us know. Leave me a comment on this. I'd love to hear what happens. Sending you lots of good vibes. Definitely connect with Mercury. This can be really helpful to connect with Mercury and Jupiter before you take the exams. Silwana says, one tarot card. Do you have a particular question for me, my dear? I've got Alexandria, but I'm seeing here Alexandria. It's $20 minimum donation. So if you want to send another $10 for a question, please do let me know. Jasmine wants a general reading. Ascended Truths. Ascended Truths, do you have a particular question? Let me know. Mercury's in your 10th house. It's going to trine Jupiter. That's a good sign in regards to getting a job, because you're going to have a Mercury retrograde there. So Silwana, I'm going to do a general card reading for you if I don't have a question. And Alexandria, are you here? Let me know. So for Silwana, is that you, Rosie? Rosie, are you, which one are you? Oh, you're Ascended Truths. Okay, got it. Okay, Silwana says, hi, I had a soft launch of my business last year in November. I've had to rebuild it and do things differently. Now I'm doing a real launch in a few days. Ooh. Not the best timing, my dear. So Venus retrograde, we can come back and we can revamp something, right? But the timing astrologically right now is not ideal. So if you're flexible with that launch, let's see what the cards say, but I would do it after the 19th of August, personally. That's just me. Okay, so what does the card say in terms of how that's going to work? So the card that I get for you is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is basically about feeling emotionally fulfilled. Okay, so I think a lot of this is about you being like, I launched it last year. I need to rebuild things. I need to do things different, which is fine. That's what we do during retrogrades. But it's also for like emotional validation. It's like, okay, this has been eating away at me. It's been bothering me. I wanted to make this change to my website. I wanted to make this change to my business. Okay, you know, now I feel like more so emotionally fulfilled because I've made this shift. Now, this can also be about water signs. So Cancer, Scorpios, Pisces can kind of come in that can help you with the process. This can also be about using your intuition. Because the Queen of Cups is about following your intuition when it comes to actually making something happen, nurturing something, bringing something full circle. And the confirmation card that I got for this was the King of Wands. So I'm wondering, has it been you kind of intuitively being like, I need to go back and make these tweaks because I know if I make these tweaks, the business is likely going to be more successful. A lot of it's also like once you launch your business, even though you call it a soft launch, if you have a business, if there's a way for people to contact you, if you're selling services, it's a launch. So you might want to go look at the astrology of when it was launched. Once again, not my favorite astrology right now because Venus is not going to be in the best aspect until really after the 19th. So it's not advisable to be making any big investments, launches, or anything like that. Scorpio, Sun, and Rising. Okay, so the other thing in my mind is that Venus is retrograde in your 10th house of career. So you're going back, making the changes you need to make, getting everything ready. My advice for you is do something like when Venus is going to be in better harmony. So you can do something like when August 24th or 25th, when Venus is square Jupiter and the moon is going to trine Venus. Another option is you can wait until Venus goes direct, which personally, that's what I would do. And I would say launching something when either the moon and Venus are coming together on September 10th, or you can launch something when Venus has come out of the square with Uranus and we want to see Venus in a trine with something in Aries around September 29th. These are all better dates for your astrology, personally. That's just my 2 cents. But a lot of what you're doing, going back, correcting, making the changes, is bang on with the Scorpio rising. Like, it's okay, just take your time and know that because Venus is squaring Uranus, it's going to be about being like, how can I bring in new clients? How can I get more recognition? How can I make changes to the aesthetic or things in regards to my brand so people are more likely to be enticed to want to make purchases or buy what I have to offer? Yep, go with August 24th. And know that you have to follow your intuition in making some of these changes. Okay, so it sounds like the astrology is actually doing that for you. And you're very emotionally invested in correcting some of these things. So it looks like you're doing a good job. And you're a Scorpio, so Queen of Cups, right? Scorpio powers. Yeah, a lot of Scorpios are making those changes right now. We are deep in it. Good luck. Good luck to you. All right, so we have got Alexandria. Are you here, Alex? Let me know because I got your $10 donation, but it's $20 minimum. I'm going to go to Jasmine, who wants a general reading, and then we're going to have Rosie. Lindsay, if you're still watching, you still have that credit, so if you want to hold on to it, you can. I'll make a note. Okay, so let's do a general reading for Jasmine. Okay, she has 1 card. Oh, no, sorry, take it back. 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is for you, Jasmine. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, what? The Hierophant, the Ace of Cups, the Six of Cups. I like this. What is going on here? I know it's like general, but the Hierophant's talking about reforming something, getting more structure in some way, feeling like you have more groundedness, spiritual growth, your beliefs really evolving. feeling like there is some sense of feeling more secure in knowledge and like trying to, yeah, like, you know, the Hierophant can be about marriage. The Hierophant can be about your career. It can be about leveling up and having like a sense of more respect out in the world, or something that's revolving around tradition. Ace of Cups is about emotions, and it's about new opportunities for emotional fulfillment, for happiness, for joy, for filling your own cup. This is seen as a card that's about the initiation of new relationships as well. So sometimes this card comes up for love, new relationships, compassion, definitely creativity, but this can be about intuition and intimacy growing. This can also be about really opening yourself up to new emotional feelings. When this card comes up, something's being offered to you, right? So traditionally, when you see these two cards coming together, it can be about trusting another person, initiating in a relationship that can be professional or romantic, that's taking it to the next level and learning to trust somebody. And then we have the Six of Cups coming up, which is about feeling very connected, reconnecting with people, reminiscing, being sentimental, feeling the sweetness of life, seeing what other people have to offer you, and being able to share something with another person. In my finances and leading a team of people in my business. Okay, cool. So I feel like this is a period of really realizing that you're Cancer rising, so, you know, you're stepping into a leadership position, right? Where there's more recognition and there's definitely a sense of a lot of growth going on in your professional life. But it's also about you nurturing something. And maybe it's nurturing your talent and realizing like, hey, I am able to be this leader. Maybe it's about also nurturing yourself emotionally, right? A lot of the Venus retrograde for Cancer risings is building on the self-esteem and really realizing like, I'm worth a lot more. I've been selling myself short, and like I can bring in a lot more physically, financially. I can achieve a lot more by believing in myself. I could definitely see this as about leading with sweetness and realizing that in order to gain the respect and support and appreciation of other people, you're using honey rather than vinegar, and you're really focusing on nurturing relationships with others, and you're going to start to really see that growth, and that people are going to be coming back to you and continuing to look for you for guidance and support, reinvesting with you, working with you, bringing more business to you. And that Six of Cups does talk about really feeling divinely kind of brought into the right relationships. But generally, you know, when I say the Six of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Hierophant, this is like soulmate energy. So it's not just about like working well with other people. This can be about somebody coming in and like proposing to you or saying, hey, let's be together, you know, like let's connect because I feel strongly drawn to you, or like I've been wanting to see you, I haven't seen you for some time. And that there can be offers that are coming in to potentially connect with people that you haven't seen for a while, that may be wanting to offer you the gift of relationship. So be mindful that that's just kind of in the air here. I know that that's not like the MO for a lot of Cancer risings at the moment because there's more pressing matters in regards to your goals and also your career. But I definitely feel like this is going to be coming up, and it's going to be leading you to really some new levels when it comes to your status in the world, because whether it's who you work with or work for or the person that you partner with, everything is saying it's about other people coming and being able to kind of show support for you, not just you being the person who's running around doing everything. Start looking at what offers you're being given, right? People saying, let's grab lunch, let's network, let's, you know, hang out, let me take you out to dinner. I'd be like, huh, okay. Because you're going to start getting some of these offers that are going to be coming in. And to me, this is a very romantic combination. So if you're open for relationships, I definitely think that could happen. Might be somebody that you end up meeting who's like kind of really situated in their life and their job and their career. They could be a professional in their particular occupation as well. So the Hierophant can be doctors, lawyers, judges, you know, people of high kind of prestige out in society who have their things in order. And you might kind of be like, why is this person wanting to connect with me? And then you realize, oh, it's not business related. Like there's an interest there. Watch for those opportunities, those offers that are coming your way. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Okay, so we've got Ascended Truths. Miss Rosie. Aries rising, Cancer sun, Libra moon. Holy cardinal energies, Batman. So you're going to be really feeling all of these eclipses, huh? All right. So want to know how to focus, especially, okay, yes, I want to know what to focus on, especially since I just moved. There we go. You're welcome, only getting finer. I love that screen name, that's great. All right, Rosie, let's see what you need to focus on since your move. I would imagine with all those planets moving through your 6th house, it's like organization, unboxing, putting things away. Getting back into feeling like you have like a routine. That's definitely going to be the theme. And also as Mercury rules your 3rd house, this retrograde that's coming up is being like, okay, where are all the things that I need now in this new neighborhood that I'm in? So kind of getting familiar with some of your new spaces. Okay, so in this order, wow, we've seen a lot of 7 of Wands this evening. A lot of people needing to just keep on keeping on, being consistent. Okay, so 10 of Wands and 7 of Wands makes me feel like there's still a lot of work to do. 10 of Wands is kind of feeling like you're exhausted. And so obviously knowing that, you know, Mars is going through your 6th house, you're going to feel like there's this never ending list of like, I got to put this away, clean this up, work on this thing, get this thing done, all that stuff. And the 10 of Wands does feel a little exhausting. It feels a little overwhelmed. I would say also part of Mars going through there is while you can do it, the trines to like Jupiter and also the trines to Uranus is like where you can get some kind of support from other people or other people who can teach you how to problem solve or offer some kind of support or troubleshooting. But 10 of Wands obviously is like low energy, too many burdens, feeling overwhelmed, and like, you know, be mindful that retrogrades in your 7th house, your 6th house can be health related. So there can be, you know, more likelihood of having accidents, getting sick, things like that. Obviously touch wood. Now in the current position, you have the 7 of Wands. And so the 7 of Wands is about being able to overcome challenges, standing your ground, being consistent. I think a lot of this is about having a routine and being like, okay, as long as I know that I'm getting X, Y, and Z done on certain days, or I'm making sure that I get this done by the end of the day, I'm good, and like staying consistent. Even though I feel like your energy levels are going to fluctuate, I also feel like this is a card that comes up that talks about, you know, being mindful of your boundaries, your limits. Sometimes it can be about telling people, I'm not available, sorry, and like not answering your phone after certain time periods or not responding to emails on the weekends. And being really adamant and protective sometimes of your space. And so a lot of Aries risings are going to have a difficult time making changes to their routine. But keep in mind that Mercury is retrograding back, looking at the 5th house, which is like, yes, I have work to do, but I need to have fun too. I need to cut loose a little bit. I need to be able to maybe go out on a date. I need to, you know, practice a hobby. I need to like take a day off to just kind of enjoy myself. So I do feel like you need something that's going to be more fun and creative and really protecting or carving out some of that time in the midst of what feels like a lot of like business stuff or a lot of busyness. Then you have the Knight of Swords coming up. So this can be talking about really focusing on being driven, being able to communicate. This can talk about opportunity for messages to be coming in or for travel to be coming in. This is a daring energy. This is also very assertive, and it has this vibe of being like, you know what, I'm going to break free a little bit, right? Swords can be used to kind of cut through things. And saying like, you know, I'm going to give myself some free time to, you know, go and do something fun. It can be about air signs coming in. So Geminis or Libras or Aquarians kind of popping in and being like, hey, I've got this thing that I'm doing. Do you want to go? And you're going to look at your schedule and go, I've got a lot going on. Okay, you know, whatever. I'm going to give myself a break and I'm going to go somewhere that's out of my comfort zone. So if these offers come, if you also feel inclined to, want to go out and go somewhere different, or, take a day trip somewhere just to kind of disconnect from, your kind of daily grind, that might also be beneficial for you as well. This does talk a lot about also contracts, communication, negotiations, journaling, writing, biking, going places. So this can also be a nice outlet that if you're feeling like, you're on the daily grind, if you're taking time to go for a walk to break up your schedule, or maybe you're making the decision to like find a new place that you can go and work out so you're not doing it at home, or find, a new place that you can go and walk the dog or whatever. So that way you're kind of breaking things up. You'll consider doing that. I do feel like there is going to be an assertiveness though. So you'll notice this because, Aries energy gets irritated by Virgo. So you're going to feel like something's bothering you. So you're going to kind of pep up and be like, okay, I don't like this. So this is what we're going to change. So be mindful of your communication style shifting, but it's only because you want to get done with some of these odds and ends so you can move into your 7th house where you feel like I can have people over, I can go hang out with my friends, I can have my partner over, I can start dating again. But you have to go through all of the sludge. So use the Mercury retrograde to sit down, make a list of everything you want to do, and start figuring out how you're going to get all of this done and execute it. So by the time you're finished, not only is everything unpacked and you're feeling like you have like a routine, but also you've gotten a lot done and you're feeling a lot more productive, right? So hopefully that's helpful for you. Congrats on the move, obviously. Congrats on the move. I did not hear back from Alexandria. So unfortunately, I will have to send that back to you. So if you're watching this, it's being sent back to you as we speak. For those of you guys who are still watching, first of all, thank you for watching. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, like the stream if you can before we sign off. I'm here every Friday, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week is going to be astrology. Guys, the astrology the next week, wild. So those of you guys who are level 3, if you want to cash in, you can come through next Friday and get an astrology reading. Consider joining my memberships if you guys like my stuff, if you want to support me, or if you want to get a reading once a month. I'll be back here on Sunday. We're going to do astro weather. We're going to talk all about the sun coming into a square with Jupiter and what that means and what to expect. And we're already in some Mercury shadows. So if you guys haven't already seen my Mercury and Virgo video, check that out. We talk a little bit about what the Mercury retrograde is going to be about. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on Friday. I appreciate it. I am hoping you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see all of you back here on Sunday.